Welcome to Wisconsin Capital Management's Beyond the Balance Sheet, the podcast where inspiring stories meet thoughtful financial insight. I'm Aaron Carreno, the host with my co-hosts right here, Nathan Plum from Wisconsin Capital Management. And today we're joined by Patrick Johnson, who's the owner of Johnson Tractor, a company that has become one of the most recognized names in agricultural and equipment sales throughout Wisconsin and beyond. And Patrick, welcome to the show today.
Thanks. Great to be here. Excited for the conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. So Patrick, family business, family story. When it comes to your legacy, what comes to mind?
We're Johnson Tractor. My grandpa started it way back in, I believe, the 50s after he got out of Korea. So we've been in the business for quite some time. It's just been as far as legacy and everything, it's a heavy question off the bat, but it's good to we're real proud to have been part of the same agricultural communities in Wisconsin in Northern Illinois now for many years, and hope to continue that long into the future.
Yeah, and you've got kind of a complex background yourself. I mean, you've got this family business. You lived abroad, and what did living abroad kind of teach you, or what did you learn over there? What were you doing there, and how did that help with your business?
Yeah, so right out of college, I got a job with a large multinational agribusiness. Bunge's the name of it, and I, funny enough, happened to speak Russian. That was a requirement, Russian wasn't a requirement, but a language was in college. So I picked that up out of a little history interest, and I never would have thought I would have ended up there eventually. But they had an opening over there, and I went for it. It was a great opportunity for a kid in his early 20s. So it was running a port there, buying wheat from Russian farmers and selling it mostly to millers in Egypt and Turkey were the main destinations, and organizing the freight and everything. So it was a unique job, to say the least. So coming back in Wisconsin, I don't use my Russian very much, but it was just the problem solving and everything. Obviously, it was a great experience, and I'm very happy to have had.
And just from a financial tie-in, so one way to save for education is through what's called a 529 plan. So the 529 is a specific IRS code that's referencing, so I did come up with that beautiful name. But it's a nice way to, if you can save a little bit extra for your education, because especially when you're young and in college, you really need to invest in yourself. There's probably no better way to learn more than actually going abroad. Not only just teach you different cultures, but really teaches you different perspective. And I actually did something similar in China and Japan. And I think it really kind of helps you, develop your skills later in life. And I wouldn't trade that experience for the world. So I'm really glad you had that great Russian experience.
It's a really good time. It's ready to come back, but very happy to not be there today.
Well, we're not asking you to speak any Russian on the show today, but no, we had that heavy-hitting question, Patrick, right off the bat about your family legacy, but let's strip it back a little bit. Let's talk about Johnson Tractor and how, where it started and how you've evolved and where you've grown to today.
Yeah, so it's a family company my grandpa started. Today we've got 13 locations throughout Illinois and Wisconsin, primarily kind of if you draw a line from Chicago to Minneapolis, we're kind of all along that corridor there. So we sell and service machinery for agricultural use, construction use, and then sort of your homeowners, your lawnmowers, small tractors for kind of having fun around the house too. So we touch a lot of parts of the Wisconsin-Illinois economy, and so kind of tied in with a lot of that stuff these days. So,
And then can you just kind of tell me how this implement dealer type works? Like, I know that you have certain brands. Like, did you choose those brands, or they choose you? Like, how does that process work?
Yeah, we're an independent business from the manufacturers we represent, but obviously we're tied in with them very closely. We sort of had the legacy ones that my grandpa signed up with back in the 50s, 60s, and we've continued with them, as they've morphed through the various transitions over the years. So we like to be deliberate when we represent the line and make sure it's a fit for our customer base and everything like that. But but also try to provide solutions for our customers.
Yeah. So family businesses, Patrick, sometimes they don't survive the second generation. And talk about the values and the decisions, or even, the financial or estate planning that helped you and your company, Johnson Tractor, grow while others have struggled?
Sure. I'm one of 4 owners today. So it's still within the family, but it's a lot of respect between the generations. We're fortunate enough that we were able to start the transition process from a financial standpoint, where it's both fair to the achievements that happened prior to me, but also haven't put us in a position where we're unable to grow further. So we're very proud that the conservatism has been there and put us in a stable place to endure for 10 years to come.
So I just have a general question. So, agriculture is actually it's really kind of a fascinating field. So, you watch a movie like Charlotte's Web, and then you actually go to actual farms right now, and you'd be amazed about the robotics and the innovation. So I was actually, I think you guys use a term called like precision farming. Could you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, it's kind of a catch-all term, but it's we've come a long way since Charlotte's Web has been. Sure, everyone is a But there's a lot of facets of that. With the main one being GPS on tractors, where you can push a button and the tractor just drives in exactly the path that you want it to drive in, which is a huge. Huge just convenience factor and efficiency factor for a lot of farms you drive by on the interstate. I'm sure you see the rows are just dead straight pretty much everywhere. So that's been the game changer. And every year they seem to make more and more additions on that. Of course, the full autonomy is something that every manufacturer is chasing. I don't think anyone's quite gotten there yet with the legal and everything requirements. But generally speaking, there's fewer and fewer farmers every year, and we're farming the same amount of land, so need to do it more efficiency and make life easier for our customers.
What trends are you seeing, to play on that are helping farmers today?
Generally speaking, it's a lot of bigger machinery and going faster is what the market is demanding. We're kind of drawing into that same dynamic of you've only got one operator who, maybe his neighbor retired and now he farms that farm, and so he's got to do more. So he needs machinery that does more. So we're there to provide. At the same time, you've got a little bit of the, it seems that with some of the climate change things, there's a little more variation in our weather patterns. So where you might have used to have 4 weeks to plan, if it's all wet, maybe you only have 2. So got to, again, just really up that time to get everything done.
And then, since I've been overseas too, farms are really different overseas. So a lot of them are like smaller, like especially I think about Europe. Here we allow big corporate farms. So, so if I had a implement dealer in, Holland, how would it be different from what you have here in Wisconsin?
It'd be pretty similar. And, most of our customers are family farms too, whether they're set up as a corporation or not. I don't know what the legal structure is, that they all get into a partnership or whatever, but it's pretty much all families still in Wisconsin. I don't really know about the California, vegetables and anything like that, but in the Midwest, it's still pretty family owned and pretty similar, I think, to the European farms too.
What leadership lessons, Patrick, have you, they've had the greatest impact on your decision making, and what are you continuing to learn as you continue in your career?
Learn every day, as I'm sure everyone does on the job. But I'm very fortunate to work with my father and uncle still. They're still involved in the business, and they give a lot of guidance. We have a CEO as well who's worked with us for many years. So I work for him, and he gets the guardrails here and provides a lot of guidance and everything. There's just having a lot of mentors to look to. It's always a great thing for anyone with leadership.
What surprises have you encountered or endured, that are adjacent to running a business where you're like, I didn't think I had to necessarily need to learn how to do this, and now I'm figuring it out right now?
I just remember that the one that comes to mind is the one of my first months back when I was at one of our locations, and I had been working a corporate job, and I have a degree in economics, and one of our employees comes and says, "Hey, the roof is leaking." Well, I don't really know much about that, but I learned a lot. I know a lot more about roofs today than I did before. Just go up there and check it out.
So, and then do you envision yourself growing more? Do you feel like your 13 locations is enough, or?
It's a debate in our company. every deal is a little bit unique, and these are a lot of family businesses who are, neighboring to us. And I wouldn't say we want to be at a size where a little bit of the theory behind the growth is as the farms have become larger, the machinery is covering so many more acres, and we need to have more specialists on staff. There's areas where we definitely still need to develop in our capabilities, and we will over the years. But sprayers and some other really high tech pieces of machinery kind of just necessitates more scale and just more machine population to draw upon. So we don't no plans to expand further. However, within the market, the general trend seems to be towards consolidation. So I would imagine at some point we will, but no idea when.
And in your precision farming, are you using drones at all, or are you starting to
We started a little bit. We do sell drones for spray. That's it's that technology started, and it's really taken off in some of our areas that are very hilly, and it's very difficult to get a sprayer in the big flat wide open plains of southern Wisconsin, northern Illinois. It's still better to have a diesel engine behind something.
Very cool.
What's one of your best leadership lessons that you've learned so far?
Probably just communicate. Always over explain. It always seems that telling someone to do something is one thing, but if you explain the why behind it, things seem to go a lot further with that. So probably my main tip.
What when future generations look back at Johnson Tractor or work with Johnson Tractor, what do you hope they remember most, and what do you hope that they appreciate about doing business with you?
I hope that I'm very proud that we've got a lot of employees that I've known my entire life, and multiple generations working for us, and we've been involved with these communities. So agriculture is one of those things where it's simultaneously a profession and also a way of life. And I'm just very happy that we're able to play this role in the communities that we serve, and I hope they enjoy doing business with us. We made their lives a little bit easier.
That's wonderful.
Anything else you'd like to add, Nathan? Or
Should we ask like a fun fact?
yeah, I could ask something fun.
So, if you mind a personal question, Rachel likes to ask her questions. What's a fun fact that people might not know about you? So I'm not sure if you want to share.
I'm probably my one fun fact. I'm fairly uncoordinated, but my biggest passion would be slalom water skiing. So I really like to do that and get out there, and that's kind of my about the only place that I am coordinated.
All right. So be careful around the lake. You might.
Yeah, Patrick, for having me. Thank you so much for joining us and sharing your story today. Thank you for listening to Beyond the Balance Sheet. And if you enjoyed today's conversation and would like to be a guest, visit us at wiscap.com and send us a message. And until next time, on behalf of Nathan Plum and Wisconsin Capital Management, remember that every business, every investment, and every financial decision is a story worth telling. And thank you for watching, and thank you for listening.